Okay. Well, I think that my next guest on my podcast needs no introduction. Anyone who was on the floor will know who Ray Conway is. Ray, how are you, mate?
Okay, Jace, how are you, mate? Nice to see you.
Fine. Not too bad. Nice to see you too. Been a while.
I like being on Tom, mate.
We've been in touch lately, haven't we? We haven't had a good chat.
Yeah, bitch, I got you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this very much, yeah. I've been told I've got to slow down my speech because it's a mixture of Essex and Irish, and my kids tell me I talk too quick. But slow this down a little bit.
I've been told the same, and I talk too much as well, apparently.
Oh, always. That's the Irish in me, so.
So where should we start? Well, how did you actually get to the life floor then? And what year, when did you start? What year was it? Because you were one of the first guys, weren't you?
Yeah, I've been in September 82. I was there in January 83. So I missed the first couple of months. That's all I missed.
Wow. That was,
But, yeah, pretty early in at the beginning. Very, very lucky. I was actually degree in engineering. It took me a HSC in engineering. It took me 4 hard, long years, and then out of that, all I could get was car mechanics job. And but my wife, my first wife, she used to work at a TSB bank, and I used to meet. I used to have a lot of regular events, and I meet them, and all the girls that were married to bank messengers. I knew all they had nice cars, mortgages, plenty of holidays. This would be working too hard, good money. And I was killing myself as a car mechanic. I couldn't get one. The engineering job I was after. And so I decided to become a bank messenger, which meant a massive drop in money. But I managed to get a job with Warburgs. But I hated it after like 2 days. Really hated it. It was just boring as hell. Even though I was attached to Warburg Investment Management, which was still good. I learned a lot. But so what I did was I took the Institute of Bankers exams by correspondence course. There's no internet in the day, so you have to buy this course. And I didn't know any of it. It was like banking, economics, rules and regulations. It was just foreign language to me. But every spare minute I got, I tried to learn it on the trains. There's an Institute of Bankers library down at the bank. So whenever I was on a walk, there's a messenger, I'd just dive in there for half an hour and just study it. And then I took a week off before the exams to do it. And I've done the exam. And the thing with correspondence was, if you get stuck on something, you had to write them a letter. And then that'd be a 2-week turnaround before you got the reply. So you had to do something else. And anyway, I took the exams, wasn't confident, I did it. And they said to me, oh, you'll take 6 weeks to get a reply. So anyway, about a fortnight later, I got called up by Warburgs personnel. Can you come and see us? I went, oh, God, what have I done there? Because I did have a few things I was called up in front of the HR. And they handed me this envelope. And I went, what's that? It said, that was a £50 check. I went, what's that for? She goes, congratulations, you passed the Institute of Bankers. We never even knew you was going in for it. So I managed to pass it. And they went, by the way, we're ending your probation early. You're now on full time. Big stores of guys can talk to you about mortgage subsidy and stuff like that. And there's a £500 pay rise. And, from thinking I was going to get the sack, I actually kind of got a job. The yellow coat job was given to bank messengers for some reason. I had to change them every week. And the bank messengers are all guys in their sort of 40s. And they all hated it because we used to wear this bright blue uniform. It's really bright and raw blue. And of course, going down the life, the boys used to rip them apart. And then one of the boys said to me, it's a thing called life. Why don't you go down there? You could do that. He just wanted to get out of the job. So he took me down there and I just walked in the place and I thought, oh my God, look at this. It's just amazing. I was proper kicking off at the time and I was thinking, I've got to get down there. I've got to get in. Somehow I've got to get in here. And I went back to the Warburgs. I went to see a guy called David Burton, who was in charge of the dealers. He ended up being chairman of Life for a spell. And I walked in and I went, excuse me, you Mr. Burton? Yeah. I said, my name is Ray Conway. I work for Warburgs Investment Management. I'm the messenger. I hear there's a job going down on the life market as a trainee, as a yellow jacket. He goes, well, not really, but why? What do you want now? I said, yes, I do. I said, he goes to me, what do you know about futures? I said, I know everything about futures. And the whole dealer room just burst out laughing, including him. And I just thought, what have I said now, you know? And he just looked at me and he went, okay. He goes, I'll give you a 4-week trial. You got it. Let's see how you get on. When from there, I went down there and it was great. And then I got a rise again pretty quickly. Took me up to a massive 5.5 grand, I think it was. And I was with them until, and then what happened was, I've been on BT's waiting list for about 6 years to put my extra engineering. And they offered me a job, double the powers on the life, working around the corner from where I lived. And it was what I wanted to do at that time. So I thought, I weren't getting any other lawyers at the time, really. And I thought, so I went to them. I went to the meeting room, and David Burton wasn't there, but his assistant there, Simon Aaron, was there. And I had my resignation, and I handed it to him. And he gone, what's this? And he opened it up. He says, what's this about? I said, well, I'm a qualified engineer, and this is a job I've been waiting for. And I think I'm going to take it. And he just tore it up. He threw it in the bin. And he went, no, it's not what we're going to do. He says, she's going to do really well. He said, we really like you. He says, I know it's a bit quiet where we are, but soon a broker's going to come in for you and it'll all happen, I promise you. But please don't do this. And he was so sincere that I thought, yeah, fine. Okay, I'll go back to the floor. And I turned the BT job down. And literally, about 3 months later, I got offered a job by Hawkevette. And which is brilliant because they were just such a fantastic outfit. And that was really my first real proper breakout down on the life market. I was about 25 years old, something like that. And they were great.
And that was, what year was that when you started Hawkevette? Was that still 1983?
No, probably been about 85.
Right.
Something
Okay.
like
So you've been there for a couple of years at this stage.
about a couple of years at Warburgs, yeah.
And what were you doing there? Were you on the phones or were you in the pits?
Well, I've got the, when I was at Warburgs, the first exams they had where they were going to actually do a proper exam, because they were originally just handing out the badges up to then. I took the first lot of repeat exams and the course I went with it. And only me and Steve Reynolds from Turrets passed it. And Steve was pretty much a booth guy. So I was the only first blue badge to be on live.
Wow.
And I was a little bit intermittent, you know, obviously when I come in a bit, it was a little bit of a chance for having a bit of a roast up, but I was quite fortunate. I didn't do anything crazy to get roasted on it. So I was quite fortunate, right? But when I went to Hawkevette, no, they put me straight in a bit. I was just chomping at the bit, ready to go. And so straight in, it was quite good business, doing hard, stuff like that. I had some good guys. I had great two bosses there, you know, Alistair Nielsen and Peter Henney. And they basically let we had a young team. There was David Hersham, myself, Simon Watkin, Gary Keese. And, you know, when we said we wanted to do the ARBs and go in and do the spreads, they let us do it. They said, okay, fine, crack on with it. The stuff they used to give out all the time, but we just took it on and just loved it. Just did it. Just learned it by just doing it, which is the only way to do it.
Yeah, just learn as you went along. We were all thrown in the deep end, really.
Yeah, it was. But it was nice. It was a good company. A lot of fun there. One of the first nights, they took us out with their clients. And it was a darts evening at the long room. And we were paired off with the client. And I never played darts before or since or anything like that. But when I'm drunk, it's like the same when I play pool. I can be quite lethal. So anyway, we had this knockout darts tournament and the betting was going quite crazy because everyone's a dealer. All the dealing room was there. And David Hersham, who I worked with, had a lot of money on me to win it. And the finals against me and a guy from Hawkevette who was a regular darts player. And there's loads. So the betting was quite big. So anyway, I won it. And David Hersham won about 5.5 grand on me. So we all went up the West End. We all just jumped in cabs and went down to Kingsborough. And it was some
£5.5 grand, and
club
that
there.
was 40 years ago. £5.5 grand.
Yeah.
And
It's
that
like
was
1985.
big money.
Yeah, massive money. And they gave me a great big maple of champagne after the final. And I did the old Grand Prix drivers thing. Give it a big shake up, put it in the top, sprayed the whole room. Everybody got covered in champagne. And we went out to West End. Of course, you all got drunk. And following morning, I woke up about 9 o'clock. Stumbled into work, tail between my legs, about 10 past 11. And, thinking, oh, God, I'm on vacation here. I mean, I'm in a shit here. And walked into the booth, and Alistair was there, my boss. And I went, oh, real sorry, Ali, sorry about last night. He went, no, he said, you were great last night. It's great fun. You were brilliant. I went, oh, okay. So I've still got a job then. He says, yeah, I still got a job. He said, I'm going to lunch now because no one, you're the first one to turn up. So, okay, fine. He showed me the orders, and I gave me the orders. I had them all there, working out. And I went, I'm going to lunch and see you later. Okay, fine, Ali. And I just come straight down on the booth. I was just completely hanging, thinking I just got through to Warburgs.
Wasn't the first morning like that, I'm sure. That wasn't the only morning, I should say, like that.
No, but it was the first big one for me. So, I was trying so hard to get on and just kind of lost it really in the night before. Anyway, I was in the booth feeling pretty shit. And Ted Ursa came round the corner and he shoves me and he goes, wait, give you an arm wrestle for £500. So I should tap at him really hard. I was fuck off, will ya? And he stormed off. So then I thought to myself, I probably shouldn't have said it to him. He's, we're getting quite a bit of business off Salomon. Anyway, nothing more said. I got on with the business while Alistair was away at lunchtime. When he came back, he's gone, how's things been? I said, yeah, everything's done. We're still working this, and this. And then Ted Ursa turned up in the booth. And he's gone, oh, Alistair, your boy there, he told me, I'll give him an arm wrestle. He'd break my fucking arm. And I'm thinking, I'm in trouble. And Alistair just turned to you and went, don't give him a fucking arm wrestle then. He's just walked off. So I thought it was brilliant of Alistair. And of course that story went round as well. But that got me going. And then I had some really happy years there. Every Christmas they used to give us a turkey. They had an ex-employee and he was supplying Hawkevette with 500 turkeys at Christmas. So I had my one delivered to the floor. I had it in the booth and I promised the mother-in-law that Christmas Eve, I'm working Christmas Eve, but I'll be home by about 2 o'clock with the turkey so she could cook it for Christmas Day the following night. So anyway, I was with Simon Watkin and we were a bit dangerous and we were together. So he got my turkey. He got the staple gun out. We stapled a trading card to one of his wings. We made a little hat for him. We made proper big spurs for his feet. Had a pencil jammed into his other wing and went to the arbitrager just for a quick drink. So I sat my turkey on the counter, propped him up against something, crossed his legs over and just left him there looking at him. And we had a good drink. And then I left the arbitrager and didn't remember to bring the turkey with me. So I got home to my mother-in-law's place about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And she said, where's the turkey? And I'm looking, oh, fuck, it's still sitting on the arbitrager booth. So I had to we get in the car drunk, go down to Iceland, managed to get a turkey out of Iceland, frozen, and come back and put it in a bowl. And for the next 2 hours with 2 hairdryers, just defrosting it. And that was our turkey for that Christmas. It turned out really good, but everyone had the help with me that day. But it's stuff you got up to. It's all harmless stuff, but what you got up to, it's good for him.
And what was next for you after Hawkevette?
Well, my dream move at the time was to get either into Drexels or GNI because they were the 2 brokers then that were doing all the business. And I just wanted to get in there, get as much action as I could. I was completely bitten by the trading bug. And as luck would have it, Drexels did approach me and offered me a job. And I was absolutely really happy there. My money went up from something like 11,000 to 18,000. I got a car, bonuses, and I was going to get exposed to bullying. So, but my first 2 days there were probably the craziest 2 days I ever had on life. I was just really looking forward to it. I had fantastic bosses in Ross Wilton, who was the overall in charge, and Tabs Terry Brown. So first morning I'm in the gilts. First trade I'm doing in the gilts. There's a mixture between me and a booth. And instead of selling 11 lots, I sold one. I was ultra careful. I swear by to this day, it wasn't me, it's them. But it worked out at a 6 grand loss. And anyway, Tabs was fucking furious with me. And so by about 9 o'clock, he banished me to the Eurodollars. I just told me to stay there. And, from being, that's not what I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the action, and I was getting blamed for it. And I had no chance to give my story. I just banished the Eurodollars. So I was in there, I spent a whole day in there, and I come home and my wife looked to me, how was your first day? Oh no, at the end of the first day, I went up to Tabs to spin my P45. And I handed him my P45. And he handed it back to me. He goes, best hold on to that, son. And I was being cheeky and a bit leery in them days. I went, oh, so when do I get my company car then? And he goes, fucking hell, mate, your fucking company car's got drop handlebars. Now, fuck off. Like that. He sent me home. So I've gone home and I was thinking, all right, I'm going to work first day. So I walked through the door. My wife said to me, how was your first day? I went, awful. And I told her what had happened. So second day, I went back to the market. And as soon as I walked in, he goes, Eurodollars. So I was thinking, so graveyard Eurodollar at the time. I was in there in the morning. I just didn't want to be there. And about 11 o'clock, my old boss walked around the corner, Alistair. He looked at me up in the Eurodollar pit. He goes, what are you doing here? I said, I've been banished. There was a yesterday morning and I stopped me innocent. He said, I'm pretty fed up with it. He said, want your old job back? I went, yeah, sure. He goes, what you on here? I got 18,000. He said, we'll match that. I said, no, they get a car. I said, well, we can't give you a car, but extra units of bonus. I went, fine, I'll take it. So I walked up to Tabs at 11:10, and I was fuming. I took my badge off, my orders off. I just stuffed it in his pocket. I just stormed out of the market to go down to Drexel's main office to resign. But I was quite raging at the time. I was really pissed off and raging. So when I went into the office at Drexel's, Ross Wilton met me. I mean, bear in mind, this is only the second time she's met me apart from the interview. And her office was in the middle of the room in this glass partition part of the office. And I've gone in there, she sat down and says, what are you doing here? And I started going, launched into a lot of swear words and telling her I'm resigning, I've had enough of this and, F this, F that. And she just looked at me, she went, right, I'm going to go and get you a cup of coffee. And when you come back, we're going to have a nice quiet talk and you're not going to swear. Okay. So she came back and I was still the same. I was just launched into a barrage of abuse. And she went, you promised me you wouldn't swear. Just stop swearing. So I stopped swearing. And she said, right, you're not going anywhere. You're not resigning. No one resigns after 2 days. She goes, it happens to be pay rise and bonus rise this week. So what you want now? I said 18,000. She says, well, you're up to 20,000. Giving you a £2,000 pay rise. Second day, yeah. Give you £2,000 pay rise. You've got £2,000 bonus coming in the month. And you've got a pool car downstairs. Just pick any car you want out of the pool. And then until you get the car you want when we order it for you. And I was like, what? But I've come to, she says, go back to the floor now. I'll phone Tabs up. Everything will be fine. So as I'm going back to the floor, as I walk through the doors of the old market, Tabs have started. I could hear him from the middle of the market just screaming at me. He's going, you fucking senior NC, what are you doing? Are you fucking her or you fucking bastard fucking going down there behind my babe? He was just so abusive. And I was giving it back to him as well. So I was creating a real scene. And I said, right, you're in T-Bonds in me this afternoon. You better stop. I can't. So but I was with him. And from that little exchange, that was the end of it. We worked really well together that afternoon. I was happy doing the bullying. It really worked well. Within like minutes, we had a nice rapport. It's all working really well, doing a lot of volume. I was having the usual sort of controlled rage in the pit, sparred by some of the American blokes were getting a bit upset with me if I hadn't traded with them or whatever. And then one of them actually come over to me and offered me out. He said, "I want you outside, you fucker." I'm not giving our names here because it's not right to give any names. So I just, I'm from Walthamstow. I've worked in garages for 5, 6 years. I play semi-pro football. Confrontation is not an issue. Fighting it wasn't an issue either. So I just kind of went, "Hold on, let me tabs." He goes, "Where you going?" I said, "I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute." So I went outside with this guy, and as I went outside, I just punched him in the head. He's gone down on the floor. I just walked straight back into the market, into the pit, took my cards, filled my pocket, just continued on. Of course, he's come back in, this guy raging, complaining to the life officials. And then Ross Wilton came down the floor just before the T-bomb closed. And we had an amazing booth. We had Matt Horan, God bless him, Beef Gary Anderson, Joe Blenkin, and Nick Stone. So we had an amazing 4 brokers in the booth. And we've been doing a lot of odds with Matt Horan that day. And Ross Wilton went up to Matt and said, how's Ray doing this afternoon? And he said, "Hey, been doing great. Not had any problems, no loads of business. He's gone outside, punched someone, come back inside, and everything's great. We really like him." And she just was, then the market closed. She promotes me. He went, "You okay?" I went, yeah, great, great afternoon. Thank you, Ross. Yeah, all good. And me and Chab sat down next to each other and we just laughed. We just looked at each other, just started laughing about it all. And from there on, he was very, very influential in my career. He was my Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you like. I'll be eternally grateful to Tabs Terry Brown for the way he taught me and things he taught me and the patience he had with me and the encouragement.
Right.
And, I wouldn't have been the trader I was if it wasn't for his brand of teaching. He was really good, really, really good.
Good story.
And when I'm on thing about heroes, when I first came on the floor and I didn't know anything about it, I literally got the job at Warburgs, and people that really helped me. There's a guy called Brian Muffet initially, because I remember going up to Brian after about 4 or 5 days. And I was playing Brentford Town and he had played Brentford Town. And so there's a connection here, and I went to him, Brian, and he said, "What the fuck's going on here? I don't know what's going on. What's always hitting off and what's going on?" And he just looked at me and he got a sheet of paper out and he explained it all in about 10 minutes and I was fine. And then I used to stand, when I was at Warburgs, I used to stand and watch people like Guy Whittle, Neil Crammond and Tim Clark. And I wouldn't take my eyes off these guys when I was quiet. So I just watched the way they traded, watched the way they imposed their personality on the kit. And they were extremely influential. Tom Fraser as well. Just guys I just completely studied and tried to emulate whenever I went in the pit. They were, again, very influential in my career without them knowing. They were guys I really looked up to and tried to copy. And if I got a few minutes, I'd always go to Guy and have a chat with him. "What's going on, Guy? What are you doing?" And he was always loads of time for me. And so he was, again, very influential in how I got on online. So it was all very good. Very, very good.
Very good. And what happened next? Because I know that's probably not even halfway through your career, is it?
No, well, I was at Drexels about 3 years and I had enough working for somebody. Me and Mark Blythe were very close. We were like brothers. I still love him dearly. Even though we did have a bit of a fallout somewhere along the line. But we decided we were going to go on our own. And we got Brian Will in and we set up at Alpha. And of course, that was a bit of a reputation there for various things. It's just parties and what I do.
I remember.
But that was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. Where we decided to get an option guy in. And this option guy put on a position making a load of money. So we went home on a Friday night with him telling us he had a position that was on, it was making over 100,000. We came in on Monday. He wasn't there. The markets had moved substantially and we had a huge loss. our clearer was on to us saying that, you know, he's basically cleaned us out, but we didn't know what it was, what the position was. There's no one around, and we couldn't let the market know. So Blimey turns to me, goes, you know all about options, you sort it out, you sort it out. And I didn't really. I had a basic understanding, but that was it. So I got all the printouts from Gerald. I got some big sheets of paper, and it was a hot day, so I went outside Life, and I had it all on somewhere where I had it, like glasses, all sorts of things, just holding all this paperwork down. We're just trying to work out our positions where we were, and I was deep in concentration, and the pressure was on. And Noel Edmonds, without me and noticing, Noel Edmonds come up to me with a film crew, and all of a sudden there's this camera stuck in my face
Right.
with a film crew, and I just completely lost it. I just, he actually said something crazy. He said, "Say something funny." That's what he said to me. Noel Edmonds. I went, "Say something funny. How about this? How about I fucking cave you in, grab that camera, smash it up, smash all your in. Just leave me alone." And but it was obviously a bit more animated than that.
Yeah.
And they all went off. And anyway, we worked out the position. It worked out. And I went in and saw Puppy, who was in the auction pit at the time. Little world him said, "Look, this is what we got to do." He said, "Well, I'll get out of all this for you. You've got to buy back a lot of futures. You've got to buy back something about 260 futures." But the market was massively against us, massively. So, but as it happened, just by that time period outside, the market dropped quite a lot. So we covered in half of it, which kind of, at least we knew half our loss. And then we ran the other half. We decided to run the other half. We speak to a few people in the booth at Goldman's and places like that, saying we're positive it's going to come back to it where I was last night. And we waited and waited and waited. We gave out the order to a couple of brokers. We split the order, give it out to, I think it was Neil Cramlin, and the rest of it to G&I. And the market all of a sudden just dips. We got our stuff back. We got out of it for a small loss. Puppy did a great job getting out of the options for us. I think we come out the whole thing on a scratch. Yeah, Puppy's brilliant.
Yeah.
And we got out of that. So we had a horrendous position, which turned out in our favour. But
Wow.
we got out of it. But
Could have ruined
we
you.
were dead and buried at 9 o'clock that morning.
Wow. Wow. What a story.
Yeah.
That was a big day for you.
It was a massive day. It was a massive, massive, massive day.
And then Alpha went on from strength to strength.
Yeah, we could. Unfortunately, me and Mark and Brian, we separated. We went our separate ways. I'd had enough at the time. I felt very stressed at the time. I probably just needed a good break rather than a split from them. And of course, when we split, I had a long garden leave. I had a 13-week garden leave. And during that time, I was just getting approached all over the place by people. I got approached by JP Morgan to come and order fill for them. But I got approached by David Morgan, and he wanted to speak with me. And so we put something together. But he couldn't afford to pay me. So we gave contracts out to 8 people. And me and Mark Schofield and David were the partners. But he couldn't afford to pay us because we gave that too much money. So we went something like about 9 months without salary. So what I did was, I got a mate of mine called Mad Gary, who lives in Romford. He used to knock up moody stuff. And he actually came up with these Timberland boots. They were really good copies. And Timberland boots at that time were 110 quid a pair, something like that.
And I remember everyone wanted them.
Yeah. I was bringing 10 of them, pairs of them in a day in 2 big bags. I was charging 25 quid for them. I was getting 9 quid for them. So I was making, £16 a pair times 10 every day. And I was just sending loads of them. And then Steve Swain come up to me one day and he went, "Ray, you got to stop bringing these pairs of boots in. It's been noticed. You can't just bring 10 pairs of boots.
Everyone was logging moody gear down there. It was crazy.
Getting great stuff. And I remember this little kid, he was over in the far end of the market. And I didn't know, this tiny little kid, about 17, skinny little kid. He comes up to me, goes, "Full pair of boots of me." He comes back, says, "Your boots are really good." He said, "I got a mate of mine in South Canberra and he wants 1,000 pairs." thought you're joking. He goes, no, he wants 1,000 pairs. So I phoned him up and I said, you right about this? He said, these are brilliant. They are brilliant. The boxes, the labels, everything. I want 1,000 pairs. What's the price? So I went on to Gary and I said, look, I've got a guy who wants to buy 1,000 pairs of boots. She said, you kidding me? He said, he would panic like crazy. He said, do you know how many that is? How are you going to get them out? How are we going to get them around there? And Gary lived a little bit on the side of the law and what it is. He had a workshop in Ockenden. So I said, it'll take me a couple of weeks to get them and what I do. I said, okay, fine. He said, you're going to need a big loot, a really big loot. And I want half the money. So I went round to the guy and I got half the money and I said, I'll bring them around 2 weeks Saturday in the middle of the night. And so we went around the garage. Do you know how much room 1,000 pairs of boots take up? It's just about half the load bang.
Wow.
And I drove this massive big box van with a bit over the front, full of boots, down there and got the money. And I made something like about £12,000 on the deal. And it was right in front of Christmas. And, we were struggling for money at the time. And this guy got his boots. Obviously made a lot of money. I got 12 grand in cash. And that paid for Christmas and kept me going till the time baby could pay me some wages.
What year are we at now?
We're in the new market. So
We're on
95,
Street.
95, something like that. So it's coming along quite a bit.
Right.
Quite a bit.
Wow. That was your first 10 years then.
Yeah, so David, when we started with David, the market started to decline. We kind of guessed that it's probably going to go to around 2000 before it was going to go. We weren't far out. Commissions were starting to get hit, and obviously, and markets were contracting. And so David would never let me sign up a trader. I always have to train people up. And I've got a good reputation for training up traders. And because I was training somebody up to this level, somebody come in and take him. And David was bombing me with people that were sons of friends of his or whatever. And I took the first few on and it's quite disastrous to start with. Some just weren't up to it, just weren't the personality, costing us money. And for some reason, I came out this way, filtering these kids that kept coming my way. And I would not get away with it this day and age with the way the world is now, but it was quite fun, but a bit controversial, I suppose is the word. So anyway, David would introduce me to an 18-year-old boy or something. And all the guys in my side of it knew what I was up to by then. So they're looking forward to every time when we get a new yellow jacket. So I get the yellow jacket, I pull out £10. I say, go up the road. There's a Hangstone Individuation top of the road there. Buy me 10 quid's worth of porn and get back here by 11. So I had mixed results on this. Like somebody did it and then they went on and became good traders. That actually was a really good field. So as crazy as it seemed. Some kids you never saw them again. I had one kid phone his mum up and I had to speak to his mum on the phone. She was giving me a load of verbal, what's going on down there? What's this going on about? But it did work. And
that was the filter.
It was. David gave us a bit of stick about it, but I was saying, look, David, it's working. Look at him. He done it. This one done it, and this one done it. And then this little kid joined us. It was so funny. Yeah, I can't tell you his name. He'll know who he is. It's not fair to give him his name. But he's a little skinny 17-year-old kid, and he's come up to me. He was as leery as you could get, cheeky as you get. Nothing of him. He's come up to me and I've gone, it's 10 quid, go up the road, get me 10 quid. So I probably is thing. I want you back here by 11. So he came back and all the guys are on it. They're all standing around waiting to see what this kid's going to bring back. And he absolutely bold as brass walks up to me and gives me 3 gay magazines, gay porn magazines. And the whole place was cracked up. And I go, what's this? He goes, and he was cheeky as could be. I thought you were gay. He says 3 fucking gay magazines. And he starts to turn around. Right? I thought it was brilliant. I honestly thought it was brilliant. And I grabbed him by the arm quite aggressively. He turned around and snapped at me, snapping at me. I went, how old are you? He's gone, I'm 17. I says, you just been promoted to 18. Go round to the front desk, get the registration forms. You're on the next training course. Bring them back here. I'll sign them. Make sure you do the course.
Really?
And he did. He went round there. He passed the course. I pretty much gave him a bit on his own, and he never left me. He had plenty of people approach him. I paid him as much as the baby allowed me to pay him, and he stayed with me to the end. And he
Well,
was
see, that-
outstanding. He was outstanding. He was just a great kid, and he lost all that craziness as well, and just completely matured, and which is just wonderful, just really wonderful. It's really
Good
wonderful.
story.
Yeah, it was good. All the boys used to, laugh at me about it. This is wait to see what I was going to do, what was going to come back. It got to be a bit of a cult thing on that side of the bit, but it was an amazing filter. It really worked well. I mean, if I did it today, probably get
You definitely wouldn't be.
arrested straight away.
You'd be in a lot of trouble these days. But there you go. That
Yeah.
was the 90s. So what are you doing these days, Mark?
Sorry, mate. Well, since life went, I went straight into being a PT, and I've been really developing a longevity program for a long time. And it's taken me about 2 years to get the software in place and all the rest of it. And I've only got about 15. I'm just doing it in small blocks, and I don't do calorie counting. I don't get people in calorie deficit. I've got my own scientifically backed methods of doing things. It's something I looked at for many years. I just wanted to do something different, and I wanted to get more of an online business presence. So I developed this system where it's all linked to blood sugars, to your metabolic health. So there's certain markers in your metabolic health, and I kind of triggered that if your blood sugars are being unstable like this, if you're spiking all the time, after over a period of time, science has shown that your blood pressure does the same. And then once you get to a certain point of blood pressure and over a certain period of time, that's when you start getting diseases, inflammation, and all sorts of shit goes wrong. Tends to be for us, I've noticed this in between 45 years of age onwards. So a lot of trainers who I work with a lot of very good trainers in a very prestigious place. They all are very strong on calorie counting and calorie deficits, all this kind of thing. And I never really thought that's sustainable. It's not something I've ever done, right? Especially if I wanted to get into shape for something, I never did that. I always looked at the sources of food, good food. So I've started this program. I had 5 to start with. Then it grew to 10. It's about 15. I'm taking a few more at a time. But every single person in there, I see that lost weight. There's a few who wanted to put on some muscle. That's worked out okay. There's quite a few of the guys who are on a lot of medication. And I've got guys who have lost 20 kilograms plus in 6 months. Easily, not killing them or anything, literally by just mainly them WhatsApping me their meals each day. And I just tell them, take that out, put this in. But only stuff that they can do. Getting them to move in some sort of way. And generally just keeping it on top of them, like keeping them accountable, but not putting pressure on them. That's how I've got guys who've lost 2 stone, 2.5 stone, 3 stone. I've got one guy who was on beta blockers for 18 years. He's now off them completely.
Wow.
Another guy at the moment, he gets his check this week. This month, he's been type 2 diabetic. He's got his blood sugars now between 5 or 6%, which is the normal range. He's been in that range now for 5 months. He's lost 3.5 stone. Again, he hasn't starved. And he's a guy who runs his own cab business. So his hours are all over the place. His sleep patterns are all over the place. His food's all over the place. Everything he could do not to get any kind of schedule in, he's managed it. And it's just purely by, and it's been great. Everyone's been great. I've started a little community for the people that are on the course. And that's been amazing. It's the whole thing has gone so much better than I could wish for, honestly. I thought it would go well, but the people who come in, they come in at the right age. There's quite a lot of life guys in there, and everyone has just really done well with it. And the group is kind of self-regulating, supporting, and it's been really good. Even just like I've got a girl just come on, and all I've said to her, just we're looking at her food, and in 2 weeks she's lost 10 pounds, 4 inches of her waist.
Wow.
But she's come down by 20 markers, and that's in 2 weeks. I've done nothing except get her sending her food, and I just encouraging her to do it correctly. So there's no age limit on this. Most of these people are 50 to 60. You know, as you know, Jason, we lost a lot of our friends lately. I lost one of my closest friends, Jason Keenan, 10 years ago. I did eulogy at his funeral. It was extremely upsetting for me. I don't, there's a day, not a day goes past I don't think about him. And you know, we lost Ben and we lost Wham recently, very, very tragically. And the whole thing just makes me more and more, first of all, it's very upsetting, but it gives me the drive to just try to help as many of us as we can. And
Well, you really are changing lives.
well, people really don't realise that it's just small changes. It's the little changes. Give yourself a chance. Stop hating yourself because people go, oh, I hate myself for this. Or I said, well, actually, no point hating yourself. It's a complete waste of time feeling bad about yourself. You don't need to do it. You're the only one doing it to yourself. And they're just changing people's minds and things, how they think like that. And it's going so well. I couldn't be more delighted with the way it's going. It's going really, really well.
It must be very rewarding for you to see all these results.
It's massive. It's massively rewarding for me and everybody. I just can't believe the way that people just kind of believed me, trusted in me, and they just gone with it. You know, there's been hiccups along the way. Obviously, no one's a straight line on it. Most of the people have had a hiccup somewhere. But it's just a question of recognizing it, getting in touch with them, what's going on, something what's going on. Let's do this. And they're coming through it. It's a very strong characters and you can bring out a good side of it. But it really is about, it's not too late to start. And just do a little bit every day. Just do a little bit every day. And if you make a mistake, you know, it's okay. You know, if you got a wedding to go to or a birthday party, you want to go and you want to have a good time, that's absolutely fine. As long as the following day you go back on it. You don't have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days where, you know, and then you're in that self-hate. It's kind of a self-hate thing I'm trying to get out of people's minds. It's very easy to be hard on yourself when there's no need. You just stop doing it. Just stop doing it. Just think, okay, I made a mistake. Tomorrow I'm going to be good. I'm going to go for it. Keep going. And then gradually those bad days become fewer and fewer. And then over a period of time, like saying, people, one guy's lost 2 stone. He's half his blood pressure medication. He looks completely different. It's just wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see it. And then to have the people, you see all the banter that goes on between the guys, you know, there's a lot of them in there fancy themselves as chefs. So Sunday night, it's like really like master cook night. Everybody's putting out what they're doing on Saturday night. And, yeah, I'm sure there's a cookbook in there somewhere if I can get it organised. But it's good. It's really good. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. It's a really good system. You know, if anybody wants to give it a try, you know,
They must get in touch with you. Yeah.
Get in touch with me. And we'll talk them through it. And if the courses are suitable or whatever, then, you know, I can at least point them in the right direction.
And can that be done remotely? You don't actually have to, you know, be living close to you. You don't have to meet face to face all the time.
Most of it's done remotely. I've got a guy in Saudi done really well this year, like really well. It's kind of, I thought it's going to be a little bit more generic, just chucking programs out at people left, right, center. But it's turned out to be very tailored. Everyone's tailored. Everybody's got different conditions. Probably about half of them come in and see me maybe once a month into the gym where I can really train them hard, look at their movement patterns, and then adjust their training programs. It all comes down through an app. So they've got it on their phone every day, what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. And I've got a measure of their steps, food, all the rest of it. And I can tell when they're getting a little bit weak, you know, when information dries up a little bit. I'm on the phone. "Oi, what's going on? What are you doing?" You know, but so far, everybody's done really well. I'm really, really pleased. Really pleased.
That's amazing. So you're acting as their accountability partner as well. They've got to answer to you, and they know that
Yeah.
you're checking up on them, and there's no point in lying to you. They've got, yeah.
Like what lied to me, I've been doing this 25 years, been doing this longer than I've been doing. And I was always into fitness before that anyway, so I've been doing this all my life. So there's no point lying because you only like yourself. And I sooner just say, like, this is what's happened. I'm like, okay, for him. A couple of people got so a little bit, but things go on in people's lives, which they can't, it's a real issue for them. Say, what's going on, mate? Okay, stay with this, stay with your food, do this, do this. And then when you come out of that, we'll go for it again. And it's working, it's working really well.
It's amazing. It's incredible that, the health system doesn't provide anything like this. You go to the doctor and they just throw pills at you. And there's no need for it. You're proving that there's no need for it, put it that way.
No,
Just change your lifestyle.
I mean, it's the ultra processed food. And it's just the traps we all get into. It's just you just get used to eating the same stuff. We don't know what we're eating. We're eating because it tastes delicious. We're told that it's nutritious and it's not nutritious. And it is just kind of, I'm preempting it. I'm trying to trace it all the way back to the source. And the source is the first meal you put in your body day. Whether it's your breakfast or you have your breakfast later in the day, whatever meal that goes in, that's where I start from. And then we go from there and we build from there. And it's once we get your blood sugars level, then the blood pressure comes down. It's amazing. And then once we're getting them level, then you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. You're not going to be tired. You're going to sleep better. You're going to have more energy. Just give yourself a little bit of time. Don't be hard on yourself. And then, the illnesses and disease hopefully calm down as well. That's the theory behind it all. And, but it's funny. It's really made me up my game, Jason, because some of these guys are doing really well, So days when and I'm always talking about discipline and training and eating correctly, but it's kept me accountable as well, because I feel like I've really got to up my game all the time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've got to be like the man out the front leading it all. So, I mean, I'm good anyway, but it has put an edge on me. It's helped me.
Put an extra layer of discipline in your life, is it?
Definitely, yeah. And they've actually inspired me, and which is the right way how it should be, because that's the proper feedback I'm getting off them.
And have you learned things by doing this for people?
Oh, massively, every time. I spent 2 years getting a GP referrals qualification. So, and I went in, I did a cancer course where I went down to Horsham and actually stayed in the centre there where I was training people who got cancer. And I was there 5 days, and I'll be quite honest with you, I cried every night. Professionals could be during the day, but then when I got there at night time, I just cried every night.
Really?
It was just incredible, And just very, very humbling, very humbling.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Wow, that really sounds amazing. Very rewarding.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
Well,
It's ongoing.
I was going to say, I'm sure some people watching will want to reach out to you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Always. I would never turn anyone down.
It's important for everyone to
Yeah, I never turn anyone down, mate.
constantly trying to be careful what I eat and do some more exercise. And, as I'm getting older, it's getting harder to do the exercise. And
Of course it is. Of course it is. That's the same.
barely drink
I'm saying all
anymore.
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pay for drinking. If I big night for me is 2 or 3 beers and I'm done. So I just can't deal with the next day. I was always a lightweight.
I'm saying once
I'm
in a
even
while.
more of a lightweight.
Yeah, I'm with you there, mate. I mean, I don't set out not to drink. I do drink. I do because I'm not a non-drinker.
Yeah.
They're big. I don't need it. And if you say like a couple of 2 drinks, 2 gin and tonics, or two beers, I'm done. I just want to go home and go to bed.
Yeah. Look, I'm just so happy when I've had 7 hours sleep. I wake up and think, oh, fantastic. But that's the big deal for me, to spend 7 hours decent sleep.
I know.
That's what I crave. Isn't it ridiculous?
No, it's true. But you think if you're keeping hydrated, if you're getting say 6 to 8 hours sleep, you're eating one nutritious meal a day and you're training, preferably with weights. But if you're doing those 4 things on a daily basis, that puts you in the top 1% of people in the whole world.
Really? Well,
But
okay.
that's
Well, I am
for over
doing that.
50 people over 50s, that puts you in the top 0.001%. It really is. It's just not doing it.
I suddenly
And we can
feel
all do
quite
it.
fit and
We can
healthy.
It's very true, mate. It's very true. And these things happen to people on a slow basis. They're slow downhill, and they don't even realize it. You know, sleepwalking to death. I'm afraid. I hate to say it, but that's what's going on.
Well, it's the truth, and it's maybe today will be a wake up call for 1 or 2 people.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, and they can reach out to you.
Yeah, no problem. Always is.
Right,
No
like
turn.
saying.
Thank you, mate. So thanks
Yeah.
for Jason. Thanks very much, mate. I hope that it's been lovely speaking to you. Lovely seeing you anyway.
You too, buddy. Well,
And
I was over in the UK for a couple of months. We never quite managed to catch up, but
no,
I'll be back again next year. So we must actually
sure.
get together.
Yeah,
We won't have a beer.
Yeah.
We'll have a sparkling.
work out and a coffee.
All right, man. Really good to see you.
Thanks, mate.
Take
Merry
care, buddy.
Christmas, mate. Merry Christmas to everybody.
You too.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.